So you're really thinking they're gonna go cheese?
Yeah.
Maybe Hart wasn't quite finished.
Damn it, I was thinking the same thing. You know what it probably was? Hart said, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Okay, he's like, okay, and then lied to everyone.
Well, I'm loving the team synergy on both sides of this. Revival and TaeJa complementing each other. I think there's a little better teamwork out of Hart and Crank, but the question is whether they can outplay these two players. What I do enjoy a lot about 2v2s though is it's not like if you're gonna have to play a 1v1 versus TaeJa, you go into that knowing he's the better player most likely, and if you can win, that's great. But in a 2v2, it doesn't matter so much.
Yeah. Everything's just weird.
I like it. I like it weird, and I like it different. I hope you guys are liking the 2v2 tournament so far. This is our second one ever, and I definitely want to keep doing more. So if you guys got feedback, if you're enjoying it, please let us know. I can't. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, our suspicions confirmed true, but Spawny here in the bottom left corner. I'm sorry, I can't. One second. You introduce first.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, we're being so mature. In the bottom left, for team NoName, it's the blue Terra and liquid TaeJa. And the pink Zerg, Revival.
And in the top right, from Team Axiom Pro Streamers, it's Crank and his teammate Hart. Sorry, I am 12 years old at heart, but I also I love Crank's sense of humor. So
yeah, you're 12 years old at heart, all right.
But yeah, so 2v2 has been kind of crazy so far. It's been a lot of fun. We've definitely seen a lot of weird stuff. But no matter who you guys think is your favorite, of course, it's team play. And this is what I like about this too. Team play definitely seems to prevail, except in Parting's case. What the fuck? Just that's a whole nother can of worms. But for everyone else, team play seems to be prevailing. And oh man, I really hope that we can entice our fans enough to let us keep doing more of these.
I was totally wrong on my prediction. Darn.
Well, I mean, there are 2 Raxes coming down at a heart, so they're just at home.
And there was a 10. No, I can't justify the 10 pool. Oh well. Oh well. I'm heartbroken, but it's okay. We do have Crank, as you predicted, going out for that proxy Stargate.
Yeah, I actually, you know what? I really didn't think it was going to be proxied on this map, to be honest with you. With the cliff ledge the way it is, I kind of thought he was going to do it at home, but yeah, it's Crank's signature move. If there's ever a point where 2v2 has a metagame, this is how you predict Cranks. Just expect oracles.
Well, the problem is no one really expects it so far. No one has the Reaper catching the pylon and killing it. No one has like automatic spore crawlers down. They're still surprised.
Yeah, I mean, there is no training for this. No one really practices for a 2v2 tournament. For the most part, you're just doing this either for fun or some maybe cash. But I would definitely love if this got to a point where we started players training for it more. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Go for 2 racks.
But yeah, that's what I said. I had your back earlier.
Oh, I thought you were like kidding by saying there were 2 Raxes because there are 2 Terrans.
Oh no, he's got 2 Reapers, so hold against this one. But I was gonna say, I think Total Biscuit's coming. He's been talking about clan wars lately. I really hope that if they take 2v2s over there, maybe that there'd be some synergy. Like if we keep running 2v2s over here, then we start seeing teams actually practicing, and it could be like really cool. But the Oracle from Crank getting chronoed out. This Reaper might actually find it just because it's running away from Hearts, but at the same time, this is the attack path for Heart to go complement that Oracle and get up in TaeJa's base.
Crank's like, stop.
Yeah, quit chasing him. No, but seriously, it doesn't matter if this gets scouted at this point, because Crank's gonna head right into that base. TaeJa doesn't quite have enough Marines yet, and quite frankly, the Oracle's normally the Oracle barely takes on 5-6 Marines, but the Reapers are going to make sure that there aren't 5 or 6 Marines, that there's more like 4 or 3. And Crank should be able to just win through with the Oracle.
Yeah,
team play. Oh, here comes the Queen.
Was brought over. That's kind of cute. It's nice.
Yeah, that team play. But I think the Reapers are going to be what makes the Kings here. Even with the Marines popping out, it's not just one Oracle, right? There's another one coming.
Yeah, it is a rather large map, so the Reapers he didn't even bother making anymore. They might have helped, but maybe not too. So he expands. Heart double expands actually. it's a it's a little surprising because getting a third base on most 2v2 maps is difficult.
Yeah, actually, we still have yet to see really any game go past the 3-base situation. I mean, when one player's on 4 bases, because they've snowballed, and that's different. But the Lynx from Revival will try and cut out the production, so Crank's not gonna have 4 oracles like normal, but he will get 3.
Okay, I'll deal with 3. It's not nearly as good as 4, but it's alright.
TaeJa's got an okay Marine count. I'm not sure if Crank's gonna suicide into this. I think it might be a little bit foolish to do so, but yeah, it doesn't quite snowball the way you want it to. Meanwhile, back at home, what gets an okay shot. Mothership Core combined with the Reapers and the Marines should be able to hold.
Yeah. Reaper's gonna have to dance up and down, but he did put down a wall off, so not too bad.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
Well, this will be annoying because a couple SVs will die, but I mean, ultimately, again, he should. Oh, hold unless he gets surrounded.
It's still okay. The Reapers are, not that useful now. It'll get cleaned up. And he still has 1 Oracle to just be a nuisance. Revelation has not really played a huge part in 2v2s. There's just too much to keep track of. 1 Revelation probably won't see enough to feel safe anyways. Oh, and Spire. See, Spire, I guess, is my favorite thing to do in 2v2 because it's just so annoying. You can get away with it, do it.
Yeah, I actually... Just thinking here, I mean, it's 3 bases for Revival. If he gets away with this, that's cool and all, but I feel like Muta's... It's not like versus Protoss. The focus is a little bit on Crank, sure, but it's not too out of the question for Heart to just get a Thor or to get Marines matched up with Blink Stalkers. It's going to be really hard to actually catch anything off guard.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. It's hard.
Okay.
You might be covered with Thors, but then your teammate's like, well, I don't have any Thors, I don't have any Phoenix, and you're like, God.
Well, I know I don't mind that much when we play together, so who have you been playing with lately?
My subs.
Oh.
Damn you, Muta guy. No, but seriously, it's they can do their job that they do in 1v1 in 2v2 equally as well, so they might not overpower and get 30 or 40 and base you with a Protoss, but they'll be annoying. They'll keep the army back, potentially. And honestly, if it is allowed to snowball, I feel that is the most powerful tool that a Zerg player has, as long as they don't run into a Thor. Because otherwise, what is their late game unit? Broodlords? It's probably going to take too long to get to and easily, avoided. And Ultras? Ultras are dumb.
Well, maybe. It just seems like nobody builds Vikings in this damn matchup, so...
That's true.
Might be a good way.
No one bothers counting the Broodlord or countering the Broodlords.
Exactly.
I saw the Greater Spire 2 minutes ago, but I'm not gonna do anything.
TaeJa is gonna come across the map with double drops. The Widowmine and the turret are well placed, so I mean, at the very least, they'll see this coming. It won't be a blind spot drop, but still responding to this could be a bit of a pain because this is actually gonna be 2v1. Crank doesn't have a lot to work with right now. He's warping a couple Stalkers, expecting some harass in his natural, but really, of course, it's the focus here towards the main. And the Marines will fight the Marines, or the Marines will fight the Mutas. They can't really fight both, is the problem.
Oh, Colossus pops out. Perfectly in time.
That'll be huge.
Really necessary. No blink, and not really that many Stalkers to begin with anyways, so
that
is deflected.
Crank's gone towards Colossus and all, that's good, but can you imagine Storms with stimmed Marines supporting Storms? Bio is gonna get melted, Mutalisks will get shredded. I would love if this got to that point in the game.
But we really haven't seen Crank get up that high.
Yeah, he pretty much goes to Colossus most games.
Right, and he gets with 4 Colossus. I mean, the Muta is just coming in here. I don't, the fear that you have is unlike that of when you're 1v1ing. You're always, no one ever really likes Mutas. But the 2v2 fear is just, I feel, bigger. Yeah, you're gonna have a more difficult time getting up to a good composition if you start adding in Thors.
Yeah, I mean, tanks exposed, Colossus exposed. I guess there's the complements of both players helping cover each other's asses, so to speak. There's also the fact that there's gonna be twice as much vulnerable things as well.
You have to you kind of have to play towards the Mutas. Sure, Marines will always defeat them, but Crank, he might not have wanted to go up to Phoenixes. Now feels a necessity to. Didn't want to go Blink Stalkers, might need it now. Thors will add in great damage to the mutas, but maybe not necessarily towards TaeJa's Marines. You know, like, they're just...
that's a hell of a drop, though.
It's all Marines.
It is, but the mutas might just take down the Colossus. There's not a lot of anti-air.
Sensor Tower is kind of well placed. It mostly covers its, their own base, though, so really not the best Sensor Tower I've ever seen. That's okay.
Well, a couple of Phoenix for Crank coming out, and your Pulse Crystals as well, so it looks like he's got a plan to deal with the mutas, but TVT for Heart versus TaeJa could be really interesting to see, because Heart's going to spend a lot of time chasing around the mutas, and if TaeJa had just gone north and Doom dropped Crank's natural, he would have gotten it. I mean, sadly, he didn't know that, but...
I think what was more dangerous than maybe the Marines still being there was actually the Phoenixes.
Oh my god. You know what? Actually, look at the workers. Look at the income right now. This totally has been lost because we've been focused on the army, but Revival's on 4 bases. TaeJa's on 3, one of which is a gold, and Heart and Crank are barely on 2. I mean, this is actually getting to the point where it could get really scary if this goes on too long. They don't really have this one base all-in setup.
Crank's already down by 60 supply. He's not going to be... He's going to take care of the mutas all right. That's
and the
nice.
Maybe, actually, because the Annual Pulse Crystal range is going to be quite nice.
Maybe, but then we're going to have a Ling Flood and just the plain old Terran army.
That and the Banelings are going to be, oof. As if TVT, like a Marine tank fight versus Marine tank fight wasn't hard enough as is. You throw Banelings into the mix, yikes.
Might not be so bad. There aren't too many Banelings, and 1 or 2 good tank focus fires could take them down.
I mean, Craig's staying on the high ground with the Colossus because I think he's really worried about drops, but he really needs to be staying with Heart.
Yeah. And the thing is, well, Crank being down by like 50 supply when everyone else is getting max looks scary. It is a case again of having a good composition.
Well, the Phoenix don't know quite where the Mutalisks are. They're going to be revealed now as they try to take engagement in the middle of the map. Heart's going to have to back off because those mutas get swamped from behind.
This is very dangerous. I mean...
Oh, you know what I'd love? Pick up some tanks and put them up on this high ground. Keep them alive versus the Banelings, but oh god. Heart is like super clumped.
Oh, please just send a Marine out to scout all these positions. You are in the danger of getting surrounded, pincered in.
The Colossus could be what's necessary. They bring a lot of damage. They'll be able to pick off a good chunk of the Banelings before they get into the fight. Same with the Siege Tank fire, but you're right. The pincer is what's really scary. Because if TaeJa attacks and draws that tank fire, if he draws the Colossus fire, the Banelings are going to flood in, and Zealots aren't going to soak those hits. Marines aren't going to soak those hits. Here comes the fight. I'm losing frames like nuts because so much is going on, but the Phoenix have nothing to contribute as they fly over the Marines. Oh, he's going to try and pick up the tanks. That's actually not a bad choice out of Crank, but... because of this, they've got nothing to stop the mutas. This tanks and Colossus, the Phoenix all went down because they dived for those tanks.
I think Crank was the one that messed up there. He should not have dived for those tanks.
I agree.
They would have been in the back. They would have survived, but that's okay. You would take care of the mutas.
Well, looks like the mutas will find it hard to push, but this is bad. This is really bad. Crank... I can't say that alone is what caused the fight, because Heart took a pretty bad engagement with the Banelings too, but the force fields didn't quite cover them. The Colossus didn't shoot what they needed to. There's a lot that went wrong for Team A.P.S. in that fight. Defending against what is a superior economy as well, this does not get easier. They have to rely on Revival messing up. The Annual Pulse Crystals is going to work out fantastically, of course. Marines don't have much extra range to help cover this, but dancing in and out with the Mutalisks. Tanks now pushing on the front lines. Can Heart hold on his own while Crank plays in the air?
Well, he can't hold on this gold base, so you gotta take the regular base up to the top, and then the mutas can just head on over there.
I think our former champions are going to be dethroned here.
I think so. TaeJa, though, apparently practices a lot of 2v2, so he can't feel too bad.
Yeah, well, whether it's on purpose or not. But GG is calling, and oh, it's so sad to see Team A.P.S. fall, but maybe Heart had some poop on his hands, I don't know. TaeJa and Revival will take this series and go on to the finals, where they will fight against the winner of True and Patience versus Parting